right, here we go. Gary Owen, welcome back to VladTV. First time since 2016.
That's a long time.
Long time, 8 years.
Yeah, my life's pretty much the same.
Not really. Not really. We're going to get to that, but not really. We have a lot to talk about today. But I'm going to start out with the whole Kendrick Drake situation.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the new Kendrick diss record?
Was that Euphoria?
Euphoria.
I just think, like, Drake is Thanos. Just leave him alone.
Unbeatable.
Just leave him alone.
Well, Thanos did die at the end, though.
We don't know.
Nah,
we think he did. I think there's going to be another one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're gonna bring
you
him
think
back?
he did, he just comes back.
They're going to bring him back. Well, what's interesting, the reason why I brought this up is at the end of the song, Kendrick, as he's talking to Drake, said, "We don't want to hear you say the N-word no more." And he's kind of poking at, Drake being half white.
Yeah. No,
so
but you can't have it both ways. You can't say 1 ounce of black blood means you're black. So if that's the case, then you're allowed to say the N-word. That's what I always say. If you get 1 ounce of black blood in you, you're black.
Yes.
And you're looking at a guy with a lot of mixed kids.
Yes. You have how many mixed kids?
A lot.
A lot. Oh, wait, is there something we don't know about?
Who knows?
Who knows? Oh, okay.
The media didn't get everything.
Now I know why the divorce really happened. Okay,
no, that's
got
not
it.
why it happened. That happened after the divorce, but it is what it is.
Well, you have a new kid?
Huh?
You got a new
hey,
kid?
man, I thought Vlad knew everything.
Well, clearly I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not
know.
like Diddy in the room while people are having sex. You know what I'm saying?
They're all mixed. That's all you gotta know. I didn't go white.
Okay.
But
okay.
If that holds true, then Drake's allowed to say the N-word.
Right.
Regardless if his mom is white. So you gotta focus on the dad's side, Kendrick.
Well, what people are pointing out was that Kendrick's wife is essentially half white.
Or is she half black?
Or half black, half white, half
That
something.
was a reach. I'll put it like that. That was a reach.
I mean, it's kind of a reach both ways, in a way, if you really think
from
about
Drake's
it.
side?
Well,
or
both sides,
Kendrick's
from
side?
Drake's side and Kendrick's side and everything else like that. I mean, I don't know. In the world, I mean, it's not like this everywhere in the world, but I would say in the U.S. and Canada, if you're half black, most people look at you as black. Like, for example, J. Cole's just as black as Drake.
J. Cole's mixed?
Yeah, he has a white mom.
I did not know that.
Full-blown white mom. That's why when, J. Cole dropped
I didn't know that.
When he dropped that whole record, he said, F the Grammys, them crackers ain't do nothing for me. And people are posting a picture of his mom like, huh? Like,
really?
The crackers didn't do nothing for you?
Well,
I
remember on this kind of talking, but kind of on the same. Remember when Jesse Williams had the big speech at the BET Awards, and then they went to his mom, and she was white as snow in the audience, and he was really really uplifting black people, but almost like at not the detriment of white people, but basically hoping to open white people's eyes to things. But he was also very pro-black. But then his mom was there, and she was super white. So there's a lot. My daughter's very militant too.
Yeah, I feel like
She's
mixed people are more militant in
Mixed
general.
people?
Yeah, that's what I feel. Like I've seen, the most militant people I've seen are usually mixed. Or if they're not, if both their parents are not, even if both their parents are black, usually they're relatively, their parents are mixed.
You talking about Malcolm X?
Malcolm X is one of them.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, my daughter is definitely, but she's very pro-black. She identifies as a black woman. She's pro-black, and I learned that during the pandemic when we went to some of the BLM marches. I was like, whoa! When she brought out the megaphone and started going off, and I go, "Who are you?" It was very and if white people don't care, and I'm like this, okay, I do. I love you. I'm here and supporting.
I'm not like them. I'm different.
Right?
Love me.
Yeah. I enjoy the rap beefs though.
Yeah?
I don't think anybody's ever gonna top Back to Back though.
Back to Back was an epic one.
Because you know what? It came out. We thought it was over.
Yeah.
He goes, nah, I ain't done yet.
Nah.
And that beat was so hard. I was coming out to it.
Yeah, it was like a hit song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. If you could make your diss song a hit song, it's over.
Yeah.
It's just over. They still play Hit 'Em Up in the clubs.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. They still play.
Tupac, that one. fucked your wife.
You claim to be a player.
Oh my God. That's like, that hurt.
And he started out, that's why I fucked your bitch, you
Right off the, yeah.
Everyone hip hop was like, oh.
I still don't, to me, that's the greatest.
Of course it's the greatest.
That was the greatest one.
Of course, yeah. I mean, no one could debate that.
I heard Tony Baker say that, he goes, when this whole started, when Kendrick first came out, right? And Tony said it, and it's like somebody heard it. He goes, I like my battle rap diss. I don't want any gray area. I want it. You're going right for it. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't want the middle ground.
What do you think about J. Cole putting out, the Kendrick diss record and then apologizing on stage and taking it down?
No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Well, and you know what he's doing? He's reading comments too much.
Right, because I think for the first time, people are like, that was whack. Whack.
Well, you're reading comments because, look, nobody's getting hurt. Ain't no violence.
No.
You're just talking shit.
Yeah.
You're just talking shit.
You're replying to someone who's talking shit about you.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
And I remember because me and Russell Simmons kind of went back and forth about this because he was like, yo, I appreciate the growth. And, Russell's real, Buddhist and yoga and, everything else like that, Pilates and so forth. And I'm like, Russ, that's my man. I'm like, Russ, J. Cole's not PM Dawn. He's been dissing rappers for 10 years, saying he's the best, saying that no one could get on his album to do a feature because no one could hang with him. He dissed white rappers on Fire Squad. He dissed Iggy Azalea. He dissed Lil Pump. Like he talks his shit constantly. And then when it's finally time to actually perform, I'm sorry. My bad. I feel corny.
Let me take everything you just said. How did you pull PM Dawn out of your ass on that one?
PM Dawn, because that's the most fuzzy, peaceful, flowers and daisies and hugs and we love everybody.
With that one.
Right, but then remember what happened? KRS-One jumped on stage and shoved the dude off the stage.
What? I missed all that.
You don't know about this?
No.
So PM Dawn is one of the most peaceful, loving, their song was called Set Adrift on Memory's Bliss. This is not even hip hop vernacular. And I guess what happened was the main dude from PM Dawn, who passed away by now, he had done an interview and he was saying how KRS-One, I guess, sort of puts too much emphasis on, black-white relations and so forth. He kind of shaded him a little bit. So I guess they were doing a show and KRS-One jumps on stage and pushes the guy off the stage and grabs the mic and blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I missed all that.
You missed all that. Right.
I don't think I had cable at that point. I must have been in the military.
Exactly.
High school or something.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, I just couldn't think of a softer rapper than PM Dawn. So I had to kind of compare the two.
Yeah.
J. Cole was not that. He's been talking his shit. And then suddenly when it comes down to it, he apologizes. It's just so not hip hop.
Yes, at all.
At all.
It's almost like a comedian getting offended.
Right.
We shouldn't be offended.
Or apologizing to someone for roasting them. Imagine at a roast, you're roasting someone, they say, something? I'm sorry, Shaq, I hurt your feelings.
In the middle of it, though.
Something, I went a little too far with that. Come here, give me a hug. Give me a hug. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me call your mom and, explain it to her. No. Talking shit.
Yeah.
Now Chris Brown and Quavo are going at it.
By the way, Chris Brown came so hard at Quavo. I was like, Yeah. Quavo is not his rapping isn't in your face like that.
He's kind of a singer. I remember when I interviewed him, I asked if he was a singer or a rapper. And he couldn't quite answer.
This is what I took. When Chris Brown came at Quavo, it felt like Chris Brown was in the camera doing this shit, talking, right? When Quavo responded, it sounded like Quavo was looking this way and almost just yeah. What? We're dissing? It didn't feel like it was in your face like that.
Yeah.
And that goes back to what Tony Baker was saying. Quavo's response, you had to read between the lines. What did he say? What exactly was that? It's just his cadence and the way he just uses words. But Chris, there was no gray area.
No, Chris was rapping.
Yo, that guy, what can't that guy do, by the way?
Everything.
He can dance.
Yes.
Pretty sure he can fight. I don't know. I've never seen in a just straight out brawl, but it looks like he looks like one of them wiry guys hit you with that one hitter quitter. Don't see it coming.
Well, let me tell you, I've met Rihanna and she's my size.
I'm not even going there.
I'm just saying.
I'm talking about
I thought that's what you were saying.
No, that's not what I was getting at all.
Rihanna's
That's
not
old
a little
news.
girl.
No,
I was saying a fist fight with Rihanna might not end well for you.
I wasn't even thinking of that.
Okay.
Honestly. I was thinking just like he's good at everything. He can
that's
dance.
the only fight that we really know about. I'm just saying.
That's what I'm saying. I said, can you imagine him in a fight?
Right. Well, we can.
No, we didn't see it.
Well, we saw the aftermath of it.
I'm saying I'm talking about seeing it. We'll start hip hop shit.
Okay, I got it. Well, because what Chris said in one of his songs, he said, "R.I.P. Takeoff. You're the only real one. I got true respect. Crazy. When he died, everyone really wished it was you instead."
God, that's so hard.
Bars.
Man,
Bars.
That hurts. That hurts just to hear it.
Yeah. It's like you feel bad for it. You want to call him up and say, "Are you okay?"
Like, I want to apologize.
I want to apologize for Chris's behalf.
I'm sorry that happened.
Well, you've been to some parties with Diddy, but never to a Diddy party.
I've been at parties that Diddy was at.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So I think that came out wrong when I said that. I've been in places where Diddy was at. Obviously, he was at the Think Like a Man premiere party. So obviously he was there. There's been nights, just you're out. Never at a private party. It's always been like public, at clubs and stuff like that.
What do you think about the whole thing that he's going through right now?
I think it's just weird if it's true that he had cameras in every room.
You think that's true?
That is, I don't know. That's just weird to me. What was on the plane? It's kind of like came and then it just left. It was like all this news and then it's just gone.
Well, that's because there's been no arrests yet.
Right.
There was the Fed raids. And, listen, I interview a lot of criminals. And they all say the same thing. The wheels of justice turn slowly.
Yeah.
So just because you haven't been arrested today does not mean that case is not coming together.
It feels like I see people in a room. What was the movie with Denzel and Russell Crowe? Remember when he was playing the drug dealer from the 70s?
Oh,
Frank Lucas? Was that his name?
Yeah. The Frank Lucas.
What the hell was that movie called?
American Gangster?
American Gangster.
Yeah.
So that's what it feels like. I feel like people in a room and they got all these pictures on the wall and they're trying to figure shit out and they go, we can't do it yet. We can't do it yet. It's like they're just making sure all their ducks in a row because you can't go early. Man.
Well, you actually had a big entertainment executive, male executive, try to hit on you at one point.
Yeah.
He basically was like, offered you a huge career.
He don't even know huge career.
He offered to make you millions.
Said he could make me millions. Yeah.
For a small fee.
He didn't Here's the thing. I hate it when people act like I won't out this guy and I was complicit and I'm part of the problem. I always tell people, you are allowed to hit on people.
Yeah.
It's nothing
Gay
against
or straight,
anybody that's married.
Friends, whatever.
You had to hit on your wife.
Yes.
Right? So the guy hit on me. There was no promises, other than that, obviously. But there wasn't no, you're not going to get this job because I still got the job I was in the room for. So there wasn't like the guy took away work from me. There wasn't no Terry Crews shit. I wasn't touched. There was no pro. It was just like, in the room when somebody's hitting on you.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hit on by men before. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird as a heterosexual man.
You're questioning yourself, what kind of vibe am I getting now?
I remember I was in Israel once, and this guy walked up to me and said something in Hebrew, and then started biting on my shirt, on my shoulder.
Shut up.
Just like, arr. And I was like,
You seen the guy recently that was biting that little kid's ear?
Oh, no, I missed that one.
You haven't seen that?
No.
It's all over the internet. The guy was like a teenager. It's not a kid, but this guy, he doesn't realize the camera's on him. And the news lady's getting interviewed. And it's a big crowd of people. Huh. He literally starts nibbling on this teenager's ear. And he realized the camera's on. And he goes, looks dead. The camera starts going, smiling, goofing off. I go, we already caught it. We already caught it, bro. I had a guy in Chicago one time. The hotel I was at, the lobby, you had to go up the escalator to get to the hotel lobby. But everyone was kind of hanging out on the ground floors right off Michigan Avenue. And this guy asked me for directions or something. And I end up talking to him for 5 minutes. He goes, all right, well, I'm going to go up. I go, yeah. He goes, you staying here? And I go, yeah. He goes, oh, want to come up? And I go, what? I was so taken back. What? He goes, me? He literally goes, never mind. And he ran up the escalator, and my row manager was like, what just happened? I go, you guys just hit on me, bro.
It's always weird, man. Every so often I'd be in a grocery store and a dude would just come up and just start talking to me. And at first I was like, okay, he recognized me because I'm DJ Vlad. But then I realized, no, he doesn't know who I am. He's just trying to talk to me.
Yes.
And it's just like, yeah, I'm good. Let me just, politely walk away from this. And, because you can't be mad at a gay man hitting on you unless you're somehow gay and trying to repress it. Mm-hmm. Like, there shouldn't be any anger that comes out.
Even when...
There can't be any anger. Like, what are you mad about?
I think it's happened to me 3 or 4 times in my entire life.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
That a gay guy was just hitting on me. And unsolicited, like, whoa, wow, this guy's really coming on to me. So it happens. This just happened to happen in this guy's office. So when Katt talked about it, and then people were asking me, I was like, yeah, it happened to me once. I go, and I'm talking about in the entertainment business, where it was obvious.
I mean, look, like I've interviewed Diddy before, and I had a few brief interactions with him. The most interesting of which I mentioned before was I was at a club one day, and I was working with this company called Stahl & Dean. They had these really cool throwback jackets. And I was wearing this jacket. It was like a Yale throwback jacket, right? Like me and Jay-Z were the only ones who actually had it at that time. And this guy walks up to me and was like, hey, man, I work with Diddy. I said, okay, cool. Look, man, he really likes that jacket and he wants to buy it off you. And
Really?
I'm like, with the jacket I'm wearing? He's like, yeah. I'm like, nah, I'm good. He's like, are you sure? I'm like,
you didn't even get a price?
Not. He literally wanted to buy the jacket off me.
Yeah. You didn't ask how much?
No.
It was Diddy. Dude, you could have taxed him.
Yeah, I mean, but there's something called self-respect. And I think it was like snowing outside or something. Like, there's that.
Well, I clearly have no self-respect.
You would have sold the jacket?
Let me tell you, I would have sold that jacket so goddamn fast. And you didn't go there. Did you go to Yale?
No.
No, so what's your emotional attachment with it?
You know what's funny is that people were like, oh, Vlad, you lied. But what happened was during that conversation, I told him where I got that jacket. And a couple of days later, he actually called up the company and boom, this is him wearing the jacket.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True story.
I had a guy, I was in Evansville, Indiana, after my show, and this was like early 2000s, and I had a Boston Celtics warm-up jersey on, right? And he goes, I'll never forget, I was selling DVDs after my show, and this guy comes up and he goes, hey, I like your shirt. And I go, yeah. He goes, how much you pay for it? And I was like, $60. I'll give you 80. I was like, I took that shit off, gave it to him. And then his girlfriend came out the bathroom. She goes, why you got his shirt on? He goes, I liked it. So they're leaving the comedy club arguing. I can't believe you bought his shirt. I liked it. What? I like the Celtics. I signed it. So now I'm selling DVDs with no shirt on. I'm still hustling.
Yeah.
At the time,
Did you sell more or less DVDs with the shirt off?
You don't sell a lot in Evansville, regardless.
Shirt
I don't know the price. It was $15 at the time.
Well, I mean, you got mentioned on the whole Katt Williams thing. You said that, he said that you never crossed over because you never compromised yourself or something.
Haven't joined the Illuminati.
Right.
Yeah, I haven't been in any bigger white movies, basically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, the Katt Williams interview was entertaining, but 95% of it was lies.
95?
95%. I don't think that Harvey Weinstein wanted to give Katt Williams fellatio. You can say a lot of stuff about Harvey, but I've never heard about the gay stuff.
Yeah.
I think he'd pick a different guy than Katt.
The only thing that I could say 100% was inaccurate, I want to say he lied, was inaccurate, was when he was talking about, he was doing something with Nick Cannon when Nick Cannon was 14. Because I was like, I started doing stand-up with Nick. Mm-hmm. So I remember Nick was into Bomb Squad at 14. That was the rap group, but nobody knew him. He didn't start.
Wait. You talking about Chuck D's Bomb Squad?
No, D.A. Bomb Squad. Okay, Nick and another guy out of San Diego.
Okay, I don't know.
They had a little rap group, but they were just teenagers, local.
Got it.
The Bomb Squad. And then what happened is I was doing stand-up, and Nick had a manager at the time called Samir Toma out of San Diego. And I just remember Magic Johnson had the talk show, the Magic Hour?
Yeah.
So Magic happened to be in the audience one night at the Comedy Store, and his guy came up, and he goes, yeah, Magic's got this talk show, man. You're looking for a sidekick. And he goes, I told him, like, we got this funny dude that we'd never seen before because I had no TV credits in. Mm-hmm. So I met with Magic, and they had me put together a highlight reel. I didn't have any highlights, bro. I had no credits, and that's when you're editing things on 2 VCRs with the VHS, right? Remember, Nick came over I wasn't renting a house. I was renting a room out of a house. And Nick and his manager came over, and I'm editing this stuff. And Nick was like, what are you doing? I said, dude, Magic Johnson wants me to see me because I'm in my early 20s. And then Nick goes, I think I'm going to do stand-up. I was like, you should. And then all of a sudden, boom. But he didn't really start. He was like 16, 17. So out of that whole thing, I don't know what's true or not, but I know he wasn't 14.
Okay. You really think that Katt Williams turned down $50 million 3 times? 4 times. He wouldn't wear a dress. I mean, the Martin Lawrence story about he was supposed to do Big Mama's House Part 4, and they offered him $50 million, which I don't think Martin got, and he's the star of the movie. I mean, I remember me and Faison were talking about this, how he was like, we were kind of dissecting some of the interview, and it was like, yeah, I used to sell stolen car radios for $2,000 in the 80s. And I'm like, well, yeah, I used to work at car stereo stores in the 80s. A brand new car stereo is $300. So you mean to tell me that a stolen one with the wires hanging out is $2,000? Like, the numbers don't number.
Yeah.
Like, none of this stuff fits together.
But it's
entertaining though. Like, I'll give it to him.
If you try to take the interview at face value, or any interview that entertainers do, I'm sure you could break it down and completely pick it apart. But I always say, the more entertaining stories, there's truth, and you're just adding HGH and steroids to it to make it a better story. You know what I mean? So I was like, I just look at it. It was engaging. It was fun. I couldn't turn it off. That 3 hours went by so fast. I was like this. Whoa. Oh, this is how you watch it. Oh, that's how I watched the interview. I was like, he's going in. It really was green room talk, though. And he just brought it to the forefront.
He talked about the whole Hollywood casting couch situation. Now, you talked about your situation. But that only happened once.
Once. That's it.
And ultimately, nothing really happened.
Yeah, nothing happened. Well, okay, I'll put it like this. Early in my comedy career, right? I messed with a comedian, a girl comedian. Let's clarify that. Comedian.
We got to clarify.
Straight up got seduced. But I'm a guy.
By her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was one of the greatest nights of my life.
Is this someone famous today?
No.
Okay.
But she has been in TV and some movies, but I wouldn't call her famous, right?
Fair enough.
But she was older than me, and I got seduced, and I was like, I was like, I can't believe this is happening to me. And I look back on that night, and I was like, I don't regret anything. I'm happy she did it. I was a willing participant, and I would never come back 20 years later, try to out her, try to act like she took my fucking innocence in entertainment. I was more like this. I'm in. Oh, I'm 100%. Is this what comedians like? Oh, I'm in the right business, baby. Because I never had it happen to me when I was in the Navy, Yeah,
I mean, look, it's painted a certain type of way, but I'm 99.9% sure that a lot of times you have women or men that hit on powerful people, offer them sex because they're either attracted to them or they're starstruck, or maybe they're hoping something will happen. And during the course of the conversation, maybe some vague promises. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll pass your number along, whatever. Yeah. And then it doesn't work out afterwards. It ends up being a one-night stand or a one-week fling. And then the person feels used somehow. They feel like they didn't get what they wanted out of the situation. And then it turns into, I was groomed. I was taken advantage of. I was sexually assaulted. I think that happens most of the time. And I think there is certain, convicted rapists that are in prison. And Harvey seems to be one of them. But I think in general, a lot of people, these are all adults. I walked in and he was masturbating. Well, then you could have walked out.
You ain't lying.
Right?
I'm like, I'm out.
I'm out. If I walk in and dude's masturbating, I'm like, all right, okay, not for me.
Yeah,
I'm out. There was a whole, I remember me and I think Ari Spears got into a whole back and forth where, I forgot who, Columbus Short was like, oh yeah, Diddy called me 2 a.m., said to come by his hotel room.
I can't figure out if he's just trolling or he's serious.
He seems serious, but to me, what is the big deal? if Diddy calls me and said, hey, I got a business idea for you. Come to my room, 2 a.m. Okay. I know that genius has its own time scale, timetable, and you might feel inspired at 2 a.m. By the next morning, you might go on to a different idea.
I'll just say,
what's he gonna do? Hold me down and molest me? No,
I'm not. I don't think I'm going to anybody's room at 2 a.m., man or woman, without some expectation of I think they might want something else. 2, 3 a.m. at the hotel room. You can meet me in the lobby. You can meet me anywhere. But to go into your room, it's just us?
Man, some of these hotel rooms are like, these penthouse suites are like a whole house.
Yeah, but I've never had that phone call.
And someone like a Diddy, they go hang out in the lobby in a hotel room with like all these people coming up to him and taking pictures. Like there's a certain level of privacy.
I'm talking about the time frame.
Hotel room,
Diddy calls me at 1 p.m. It's different. Did he call me at 3 a.m.?
Listen, man, I'm not tripping. You want to call me? Jay-Z calls me at 3 a.m. to go to his hotel room. I'm going to show up and see what he got to say. Now, if what he got to say is, anal sex, then, I'm not interested. I'm going back home. Well, that's that.
I don't know if I'll show. Maybe. I'm like this. Maybe. It's been okay. Barack calls. Maybe I'll stop by.
Right. If Denzel calls you, hey, listen, I got this movie role for you, and I think you'd be perfect for it.
Okay. See, I'm not perfect. I was wrong.
There you go. If Denzel calls you, said, come over at 2 a.m. to read a script with me, you would say, no, I think you're going to molest me.
Yeah, I'll probably show him read.
Exactly. People put a little too much on it.
Yep.
I mean, was there ever out of all the movie and TV roles you had, was there a moment where you said, nah, I'm not doing this? When the director's like, hey, I want you to do this, this, and this, you're like, no, I'm good.
No, I think comedians, we just kind of go for it. And we just kind of.
Not all of them. Not Katt Williams.
Well, I'm talking about me. Like, for me as a comedian, I'll say for myself, I'm just going to be like, all right, what do you want? All right, I'll do it your way.
Would you wear a dress?
I wear panties, I wear a bra, depending on what the money is.
Okay, so for example, I had Donnell Rawlings on here recently. And he was on a TV show. It was some sort of comedy show. And the director wanted him to wear booty shorts. And he said no. And then he was let go from the show. You yourself, have you ever worn a dress in a skit or anything?
No.
Have you ever been asked to?
I've never been asked. I've been asked to wear some booty shorts, which I consider to be in the dress family.
Wait a minute. So when did you wear booty shorts?
I didn't. You trying to set me up, motherfucker? Nah.
You made it sound like you took the offer.
No, I was doing this show called Reality Bites Back. It was Bert Kreischer, Tiffany Haddish, Amy Schumer, Theo Vaughn.
All right, nice little lineup.
Red Grant, and it was a sketch where part of the losing the battle or something, you had to wear these tight ass, straight up booty shorts, and I wasn't wearing no booty shorts, right? And at the time, the producer was like, "Well, we want to let you know that." One of the PAs said, "The producer wants you to know that if you decide not to wear," they didn't call them booty shorts. They said the wardrobe. They don't ever ask you to wear the dress. They ask you to wear the wardrobe. They was like, if you don't want to wear the wardrobe, that would dramatically affect you moving forward with this show. And that was my last day on the show. I said, well, you tell them then, fuck it. It's my last day on the show. And that was it.
So you could have stayed on the show if you wore the booty shorts.
Yeah.
But you chose not to.
I chose not to.
Well, okay.
Would you wear booty shorts?
If it's funny, it's fucking funny. What are you in the business for?
Would you kiss another man?
I wouldn't do that. Although Mini-Me kissed me in the movie, but nobody saw the movie. Vern?
Yeah?
We were gay lovers in the movie.
And he kissed you in the lips.
I did not see it come as an ad-lib. I said, you motherfucker.
He just,
he was like this. No, he put them tiny ass hands on my cheeks. Like, mwah! It wasn't a tongue kiss,
no
but
tongue?
He put me right on the lips. I go, and literally everyone busted out laughing because I just stopped. I was like this, and I'm pretty good at going back and forth. He put them tiny ass hands and was like, I was like this. So it's funny. I did play a gay character that had a kissing scene with a man. But nobody saw the movie.
But it's out there.
Oh, it's out there. It's called College.
I can pull out that clip right now and show it?
I got a nude clip. I'm nude in the movie.
You're nude?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did a nude scene.
So you see everything?
You don't. You see,
Not that I want to see it.
No.
Not that I want to see it. No Diddy.
When they shot it, they show my ass, the backside.
Okay.
They didn't show the front. But when we shot it, I couldn't put anything on.
It was all there.
All there.
All there.
And I didn't know when it came out. And that's I was getting at, is there a line? Because I had to get nude in the movie, and they did show my ass and everything. And then it was rated R. There were so many titties on set because we hired every stripper in New Orleans. And then one girl, one of the main actresses, didn't want to take her shirt off in one of the scenes. And everyone was like not happy with her because they're like, look, we're going balls out in this movie. They were trying to make like the 80s Porky, like bring that back a little bit.
Yeah.
And we were really upset. And they said, well, literally in your contracts, it's saying, are you okay with nude scenes? And then when she got on set, she didn't want to do it. And it instead of like forcing her, messing up the shooting schedule, we was like, all right. But the rest of the cast kind of like, they were pointing at me. They go, Gary got naked. You know what I mean? And I didn't realize I even signed up for that. But the director was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And the scene was funny. It's a funny ass scene. And it didn't show, when it came out, it didn't show my front, but it showed the back. So you see all the ass.
Yeah, I remember Ari Spears. He did like this skit. He did like a music video.
I saw
He was
that.
like,
I saw
when I
that.
say my man, I really mean my man. It was like,
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That was a
I'm
lot.
not doing that.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Aries is my man. He's a regular on my show, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I wouldn't do that.
See, me and Vern in this movie, there's no love scenes, nothing like that. It's more, I'm Bear Cat, he's Bear Kitten.
Right, so now I have to get this sex scene with you and Mini-Me out of
There's
my
no
head.
sex scene in it.
Yeah, but you said love scene, so now it popped in my head, and now
There's no love
I
scene.
gotta push it out. I gotta push it out.
No, there's
Gary.
no love scene. Like, I defend him, and he just, it was so funny, though, because his hands were so little. He's the best to go to strip clubs in New Orleans with, though.
Really?
Man, I miss
I
that
love
dude.
New Orleans. I love New Orleans.
I miss that dude so much. We went out first night we went out with him, he had a little cart because he can't walk far. So I thought he just had it. I didn't know he really needed it for transportation. I got so drunk, I took his cart and I'm riding around Bourbon with it. I come back like 30 minutes later, he's in the same spot. He goes, hey, asshole, I can't move. And now there's like 40 people around him because they're, oh shit, Mini-Me. We walked into a strip club one night and there were some athletes there, like A-list level athletes. And those strippers, they came at him like he was Brad Pitt. They were passing him around. Literally, his feet were on the ground. They pass him around. Remember the Tootsie Pop commercial? How many licks does it take? That's what they were doing, licking his head, kissing him. And he just had this shit-eating grin. And I go, oh my God, it's good to be Vern right now. I miss that dude, boy.
Well, I remember you had mentioned this, I think, on the Shaq stand-up. Oh, sorry, on the Shaq podcast, where you had a Suge Knight joke. About
No,
the Ice
Honest
Cube.
John did.
Oh, that wasn't you. Okay.
No, Honest John had the best Suge Knight joke back in the late 90s.
Oh, okay.
And it was, God, I hate telling other people's jokes, but it's so funny.
Well, he passed away, right?
Huh?
No, he's still around?
No, Honest John's still
Oh,
alive.
John, okay, my bad.
Yeah. And if he's still telling that joke, there's a problem.
Okay.
So it should be in the archives, but he just said, he goes, yeah, Suge Knight, man, there was a rumor out that he made Vanilla Ice drink piss, hung him over a balcony and drink his piss. He goes, you ain't gonna do that to me. He was like, Suge Knight, so you gonna drink this piss? He goes, I'm not doing that. You gotta put ice cubes in it first. That was a great joke. Honest John used to kill in the late 90s.
I actually interviewed Vanilla Ice a few months ago.
He's very successful, right?
He is
like
rich.
in real life? Yeah.
Like, he owns like 100 properties.
Yeah.
We went to his house in Miami, and we were like waiting in front of his gate. He shows up at the house next to the house and said, no, come over here. And we go to the other house, and we realize that the houses are connected with a third house that has a helicopter pad.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And he showed us like a $6 million car collection on top of it. And, you know, I mean, he's kind of, you know, Honest John is kind of mixing up stories. I mean, there is a story about Suge hanging Vanilla Ice off the balcony, which didn't really happen. He just went to the balcony.
Yeah.
But the drinking urine, that came from a different situation.
Oh, okay.
So he kind of like mushed the two together.
Well,
Which is
and
cool.
I might be telling the joke wrong, too. It's not my joke.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Well, Donnell Rawlings, I guess he took a shot at you on the Breakfast Club.
No, it was another interview, and he called me. He called me like, it was cool. It actually was a great conversation.
Okay.
He was on the guy's podcast is in the barbershop. It's in New York. He's a battle
Hoffa.
rapper.
Yeah. Math Hoffa, I was just on the show.
He was on that podcast.
Got it.
And I might have read it wrong. I don't know. But it sounded to me like he said Charlemagne and them are always comparing him to like me and this other comic. And he goes, no offense against them. They were contemporaries. But he was like, I would shit on him basically like stand-up wise. Okay. Like I can't compete. So I went on my podcast and instead of like getting upset about it, I said, look, he got a special on Netflix. I got a special on Amazon Prime. I was like, it was a good way to promote both our specials. I said, why don't you guys watch them and tell us which one's better? Obviously, I did that to get more eyes on mine, and I was getting more eyes on him. Yeah. And it was like a very soft, vanilla battle rap comedian shit. But when I talked about it on stage, I was like, damn. When I talked about it on my podcast, I was like, yo, I've been nothing but nice to this dude my whole life.
You booked him for a New Year's show, right?
Yeah, last New Year's. Yeah. I booked him on New Year's Eve. And it was the last minute. So it was like, he didn't have a New Year's Eve show. And we had somebody fall out. Faison fell out. Of all people, Faison fell out. We had to fill it in. And I said, we got a list. And literally, I'm partners with the promoter. I'm the one that was like, hey, what about Donnell? Because there was like a list of 5 comics. I said, see if Donnell can do it. And so Donnell did it. But I was like, dude, I just put money in your pocket. I thought we were cool. But he did call me and clarified everything. I was like, dude, I wasn't shitting on you. He goes, I was just saying I get sick of Charlemagne comparing me to other people. He goes, I was like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm Donnell, right? He's just like, I'm not with this whole Corey Holcomb going at people and back and forth and stuff like that. And I told him, I was like, on the phone, I said, you were definitely wrong interrupting Corey's show, regardless of what he said. It goes back to, we don't get offended. We go on stage and talk shit about people, go on podcast, talk about shit people, but it's not your place to interrupt another comedian on stage. And that's the golden rule, because at that point, every comedian's gonna be doing that shit. That's what Corey does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, Monique did an interview on Club Shay Shay, and she called out this white celebrity, and everyone thought it was you.
It's you.
It's actually me.
Yeah, I knew it was you.
You knew it was me.
Yeah, I knew it was you.
Okay, because you kind of took credit for it. You're like, oh, it's Brad Pitt. You kind of responded. You're like, no, she's talking about Brad Pitt.
Yeah. No, I knew it was
but
you.
It was me.
Yeah, I know the whole story.
You know the whole story.
I've heard you tell the story.
Yes. So, I'm going to tell it again.
Please.
I lost some money on it, and I'm going to earn that money back. Well, before I tell my story, Monique had an issue with you.
Yeah.
What was that over? Explain it.
When she was going on the rant, was it 2018, 17? When she first came out with everything, right? She was going Oprah, Tyler, and then she compared Will Packer to Harvey Weinstein. The name came up in the same sentence. So I just said, I don't agree with you shouldn't compare Will Packer to Harvey Weinstein, because I was just asking her, like, how are you shitting on a guy that put you in a movie at a time when nobody else was putting you in a movie? And I was like, and then you turn around and shit on him over some fire in a trailer that I've never heard anybody getting hurt or nobody else has brought up. But according to Monique and her husband, this shit was a 5-alarm blaze that was about to burn down Atlanta. So I was like, but nobody else has ever talked about this fire. And by the way, accidents happen.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. I was very careful not to call her out her name. I didn't get in any of her other issues. I was like, for this instance, Will and Harvey Weinstein, I don't agree with. And I just asked, I said, look, if you got all these people that you got problems with, do you think it's you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got issues with a lot of people, but it's never your fault. Right?
It's always someone else.
And that was the issue. And then, more recently, I made fun of her and her husband, how they do the Instagram Live. And I said, man, they'll be nice. We love you. But then they cut your throat. And they're like, yeah, but we know about this, and this, and this, but we do love you. And her husband he said, and Gary Owen, let me address this. He goes, you are a guest. I'm a guest of the black race. And I'm going, I got more black kids than you. so he's going off on me. And literally, I think it was a podcast or I was on stage and I was imitating them, right? Which you're allowed to do. You say something, we're allowed to make fun of you.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, I did all this and I brought up abortion. I said, they'll say something like, and we know you got that girl pregnant. and she got the abortion in Texas. It's illegal. The cops are on the way. But we love you, brother. When you get out of jail, we'll be here. And we still love you, right? Clearly it was a joke, being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Well, Monique didn't see it. So now her husband is sitting there going, you know, and we heard about what you said about the girl with the abortion. And then Monique goes, what? What?
To the glasses off and everything.
That's something to play with. I'm going, oh my God, it was such a joke.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. So when in the middle of my divorce, like obviously I've said it, my kids aren't talking to me, right? So, and that sucks and that hurts. And hopefully they'll come back around. But I was in a movie with Faison, and literally I walked down to set and Faison, Wesley Snipes, Bill Bellman, JB Smoove, they're all talking. And I come in the middle of the conversation, I go, what are you guys talking about? And Faison goes, our families. I was like, you ain't shit. Now, I could have got mad, but I was like, yo, that is what we do. I was like, he went hard, and I couldn't help but laugh. I go, you ain't shit.
There's a face on his own baby mama drama, you know.
Right, but I was like,
he talks about his baby mother in every interview we've done, so you know.
That's what we do. Like I opened up to him, telling him about my drama and everything, but that's my dude. So of course he digs on me.
Yeah.
Hey, look. If somebody sees this interview and they want to dig on me, that's fine.
Right.
Now I ain't gonna come back like, how dare you talk about me?
With our situation, I did an interview with her and her husband. It was supposed to be just her, but her husband was there, and they were literally holding each other the entire interview.
I don't believe you.
I swear to God, I have the footage.
I'm kidding.
I'll show it to you.
I'm talking like this.
For 2 hours, they were holding each other. I don't know how
like
their
this?
arms didn't get like this. Yeah, like just like that, the whole time. The whole time. The interview's about to start. I give him the release form just like I gave you. And there, you know, the husband's like, oh, you know something? My lawyer just wants to look over this before I sign it, but don't worry, Vlad, we got you. Not a big deal. I said, okay, cool. No problem. Weeks pass. I'm not getting the release form back. I finally hear back from the lawyer, and they modify the contract where they own the footage, and they let me use it for a certain period of time. And I'm like, this is crazy. This doesn't make any sense. Like, why would I let you own my footage? So I'm going back and like, well, you know, we want control over this. This is the only way to do it. And I'm like, no, there's other ways to do it. Yeah. You don't own imagine owning a movie that you had a role in. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So ultimately we went back and forth. My lawyer was like, you know something, just put it out, screw the release form. We put out a clip, I get a cease and desist. So I scrapped the interview. So essentially, I'm like, man, fuck both these people. You know what I'm saying? Well, fuck her husband in particular.
It's you.
It's me. I'm the problem. So I call him all types of bitches or whatever else. He doesn't respond. At one point, I sent him an email. I said, look, I apologize for calling you a bitch, but I really felt it was unfair.
Who'd you call bitch? Him or her?
Him.
Okay.
I've never called her a bitch.
Okay.
Because that's just not
I tried
myself.
to set you up. I'm sorry.
It's a cool setup. No, I've never called Monique a bitch. Her husband is a bitch, though. So I say, you know something? I'm sorry for calling you a bitch, but at the end of the day, you know, you did other interviews at other competing platforms like The Breakfast Club and Sway and whatever else, and their interviews are up, and you don't own their footage. But you're doing this to me. But at the end of the day, look, let's just see if we can work it out business-wise. I can pay you some money for the interview. And he's like, oh, well, thank you for the apology, but you need to do it publicly. And you also need to denounce everything you've done in your business and what you've done to the black population. And blah,
oh, my
blah.
God, they went that
and
way?
I'm like, man, fuck you and fuck this apology.
Oh, my God.
So I basically went back to the fuck yous again and everything else like that. So her husband and her does one of those Instagram lives.
Yeah.
And they're like, and they read my email, which I've already talked about. And he was like, we didn't extort you. We were forced to do what our lawyer told us to do. When do you pay someone and you have to do what they tell you to do? We all have lawyers. Our lawyers give us advice and we say, okay, yeah, I'm going to go with this, or no, this doesn't make any sense. We'll go with this with a different kind of way. And he was like, oh, and Monique starts crying. He's like, oh, and all these actresses before me, they people own their footage. They can sell it or wah. And I'm like, you could have just said, hey, you can't sell the footage, which I never sell anyways. There was no conversation.
Or you could have just did the interview and left.
Yeah. It's like, oh, and the other people that put it out, we didn't sign a release form. I said, well, I put it out and you gave us a cease and desist. Y'all are full of shit. Both of y'all. Fuck both of y'all. And
I don't know why it's like they're, Some people, I feel like they just need drama in their life.
Here's what I think it really is. And it didn't really dawn on me until I watched Monique's interview on Shay Shay. Her beef, which I didn't know, because DL's my man. He lives down the street.
Yeah.
Her beef with DL started when she went on his show and they brought up the question, what would you rather have your husband do? Have sex with a man or have sex with Corinne Stephens with no condom?
And that's an easy question. It's
an
Corinne
easy
Stephens
question.
with no condom.
Right.
That's the
All
easy
day.
one.
All day.
This is what she'd say. I let my man have sex with Corinne Stephens with no condoms, but I'm not going to let her suck his dick. Because he's not coming home to
He's
me
not coming back.
after she handles that business, because she's the goat.
Right.
She's the throat goat of all throat goats.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know something? During my interview, when I talked about their open relationship, I asked whether he's allowed to have sex with men. And they kind of sort of awkwardly laughed it off and everything else like that. So I think the real problem is the gay questions.
Now, what year was this?
That's what I think.
What year was this?
My interview with Monique?
Yeah.
Ooh, let me find out. Hold on a second. It was in 2014.
No shit.
10 years ago.
And that was before she really. That was the exact time that, like, she wasn't getting a lot of work, and then Will Packer stepped in around that time to do that Christmas movie.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's been 10 years. She's been fighting this fight for 10 years. I mean, here's what I could say.
Listen, I think it's the gay shit. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if it comes out, and I'm not saying it's true, but if it comes out that her husband is gay, it's going to make her look bad. And I think that that's what they're really, like, scared of.
Well,
That's what I think. Don't know if it's true. Don't try to sue me, because I'm not saying it's true.
Oh.
I think this is my hypothesis based on this extreme pushback every time someone calls her husband gay. If her husband's not gay, who cares? Laugh it off. You can call me gay all day long. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to turn on a whole tirade and start talking about people's kids because someone asks about a gay question.
Well, you could say, like, what she's doing, she's kind of feels like she's blackballed from the entertainment business. At the other side of things, it ended up working for her in her favor because she did get the Netflix special that she always wanted and wouldn't release how much, so it had to be a lot. Because if it wasn't, she would have definitely told you how much she's getting paid. Now she's getting lowballed. But
Well, she did say, I remember in our interview, we actually talked about it. They offered her...
No, I'm talking about the one she
new
did.
one. Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, that was the one to basically make her go away.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No one talked about that stand-up. I haven't heard a single person mention it.
Yeah.
Faison said it was the worst stand-up he's ever seen.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of stand-up. I saw a couple clips, and it just didn't... It didn't feel like she put as much effort into the stand-up as she did the arguments. You know what I mean? It felt like she was fighting, and then when they go, all right, you're going to get... It's almost like a boxer. I really want to fight this dude, and then you didn't go to training camp.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like Evander fighting Buster Douglas.
Yeah,
it's like a
you
disappointment.
got it.
You got it. Here's the championship. Oh, he's not in shape.
It was almost like, oh shit, it almost felt like, oh shit, they gave it to me?
Yeah.
I'm not ready, and they gave her a date. Look, you got it.
You got
this
it.
This is the check.
Show up tomorrow.
You want this check, right? You got to go up. And as a comedian, we got to stay ready.
Yeah. Well, listen, fuck both of them, honestly. From the
Jesus
bottom
Christ,
of my
Vlad.
heart, fuck the two of them. What they did was nasty and unnecessary. No one's ever pulled this shit with me before. And look,
I understand.
It is what it is.
I understand how you feel that way. And like in the big scheme of things, it was so minor. And not to discredit you at all, but it's a VladTV interview. It's going to go on YouTube.
Yes.
And regardless of what it's talked about, there isn't like Steven Spielberg watching like, I was going to hire you, but I'm not going to hire you now.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like, it wasn't a fight that was necessary.
Completely.
And hold on. And you weren't getting ripped off.
No.
It's like, so it was just like a fight to prove a point. I don't understand it. I don't understand, like, there's certain arguments, like, you got to pick and choose your battles.
Well, look,
and that was one you had to pick.
I think that my mistake was that I was dealing with her husband like a man when really he's a bitch. He's someone who just makes his money off his woman. It's just pimping. That's all it is. If I was talking to a pimp, I would have approached it differently. But I thought I was talking to a man. But instead I was talking to a bitch. So at the end of the day, I shouldn't be surprised with the way it turned out.
Now, how'd you feel? I mean, I know you're interviewing me, but how'd you feel when you saw the DL thing play out in Detroit like it did?
I wasn't surprised.
Yeah, me neither.
I wasn't surprised. And the fact that you know, Monique got on stage and called her own son a bitch ass N-word. You know what I'm saying? Really kind of turned my stomach. And I'm like, okay, well, this is par for the course for the type of person who, you know, I think this person is. Not surprised.
And well, that's the thing. Like I always say, stand-up's your life on HA and steroids, but there's no way. The week before, there was a clip of her saying an old lady saw her at the airport, or an old man saw her at the airport and said, I see what you're going through and I got you. We're here. The elders are with you. She goes, so how can I back down when I got people relying on me, the elders? Then the next week she was at the airport and a guy comes up, I heard about your son and fuck that N-word, right? And I go, so I'm in airports every week. People don't approach me like that to say, I got your back through everything, or I know what you're going through with your kids, Gary, and I'm like this. So I don't think either of those things happened. I think she made it up to get on stage to make that joke about her son. It was almost like passive aggressive, like, I got to get this off my chest. And just the other day it came out, she was going in on Tyler and Oprah again. On stage.
Again.
Yeah. And I'm just...
Lame as hell.
Yeah, and anybody in those DL, man, he's one of the most solid individuals in the business. I love
DL. That's my man. He stood by me when everyone was turning against me. Like, I love this guy for real. One of my favorite people.
Pause. No Diddy.
No Diddy.
I'm just kidding.
No Diddy.
No, DL. That's what I said. I was like, there's certain people, like if you see two comedians getting into it, you're like, I don't know. If I don't know them, but I know DL, and I'm like, there's no way that guy's showing up as a prima donna. That guy's pulling rank on a show. DL is like this. When am I going up? Yeah. All right, what time I got to be there?
Whatever.
All
Who
right.
cares? Yeah.
That's it. He's like this. All right, you want me to do 30? You want me to do 40? That's fine.
I'm getting
paid
anyways.
You need me at the venue at 9:30? All right, I'll be there at 9:30.
Exactly.
He didn't, there's no way DL purposely showed up late to ensure he's the headliner. And by the way, at the end of the day, again, who cares who's going last?
Who cares?
Get
It's
your
a show.
check and go
Y'all
home.
are both getting paid for it.
That's what I'm saying.
And DL, you pulled out the paperwork.
You didn't need to, though. It's like, I had to tell my agency one time, they was like, no, we feel like you should go last. You're biggest on the show. I was like this. I go, I don't care. At the end of the day, if I go up there, I go 30, 45 minutes on an ensemble show and they laugh, I go home, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I don't care where I go up. There wasn't an argument that needed to be had, especially to the stage.
Yeah.
People pay money to hear you tell jokes, not vent on DL.
Right. Well, are you still going through your divorce?
Oh, it's final. It's over.
It's final.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
At what point I had read that she wanted $45,000 a month.
44.
$44,000
a month. Yeah,
Did she get it?
She didn't get $44,000 a month. No, she didn't. She got broke off, but she didn't get $44,000 a month.
Well, you had no prenup.
No, we didn't have a prenup. No prenup.
Everyone's listening to this right now. Get a prenup.
No. Get a
Everyone who's listening to it.
Vlad, get a prenup.
Yes. Get a prenup. If she or he doesn't want to sign it, this is not the right person for you.
At all. But the argument is the same. Every woman's gonna be like, it's like you're preparing us for a divorce. It's like you don't love me. Every man argument is, prove to me you love me. Prove to me you ain't after my money. You know what I mean? So, and this is what I always say. If I'm marrying Rihanna, she wants a prenup, no problem. Right? You know what I mean? Because I know her financials are way better than mine.
Right.
I'm good. So anybody else should look like that. Who's ever making the most money. I mean, and I'm not talking like a school teacher or cop here. Nothing against them. I'm like, when you get into 7 figures, you got to protect it. And believe me, I learned.
Look, I looked it up. 40% of marriages end in divorce.
I was a part of that.
Yeah, you're part of the 40%. So to say, I'm not going to do it because we're never going to get divorced, well, 40% of the time, that's like jumping in your car and not putting on your seatbelt. Well, most people don't get into car accidents. Yeah, but the people that do, you're going to go through the windshield and die. So why not get the prenup? And on top of that, a prenup doesn't mean you get nothing. Like from what I remember, Amber Rose, she had a prenup with Wiz Khalifa where she got $1 million.
Yeah,
they got a divorce.
You just work it out.
He gave her $1 million. And that's it.
Yeah, you just work it out.
And child support is never included in prenups anyways.
That's it.
That's totally separate.
Yeah. Our kids were over. They were over 18, so there was no child support.
How did Claudia Jordan get thrown into this whole situation?
That was random. I think it was so random. Like the week before I called her and said I wanted a divorce, I had dinner with Claudia and another girl, right? So I had this personal trainer when I would go to Dallas to work out with. And so I work out with her, and every time I go to Dallas, I work out with her, and Claudia introduced me to her. So after we worked out one day, me and her went to lunch after we worked out. And then the next day, Claudia and me wanted to meet for dinner. Claudia, thinking ahead, said, I'm gonna bring somebody else. That way it doesn't look like a date. She called the trainer, not knowing that me and her had just worked out and had lunch yesterday. So, but Claudia's the one that introduced me to her. Well, when it comes to on divorce and the shit hit the fan, she started going through, I guess, looked through Instagram and found pages I was on, right? The trainer's page, she had the weekend I was in Dallas, she had her birthday party. And it was a daytime birthday party. I stopped by the birthday party and waited on my show because Claudia was there, her and other people was there. I got a picture with her like everybody does on her birthday. In the picture, it's me, her, and another guy. It's not the two of us, just 3 people in the picture. And she was holding flowers. And my ex said, you're fucking her. You bought her flowers for her birthday. I go, I didn't buy her flowers. And I never slept with her. Now, granted, there was definitely infidelity in my marriage. But it wasn't with Claudia, and it wasn't with that girl. So my thing was, I was like, I didn't sleep with Claudia. I didn't sleep with that girl. And my thing with Claudia is too, like, she's been a good friend to both of us in our marriage. Like, we were coming out for an award show one time, and she needed her hair done. I called Claudia and said, do you know a hairdresser in LA? And Claudia linked the hairdresser with my ex so she can get her hair done. So Claudia's been a good, loyal friend through all of it. So when she got dragged in it, I defended Claudia, and my ex got upset with that. She was like, you're defending her. I go, well, she got dragged into something she had nothing to do with. You know what I mean?
I mean, do you think that, how should I say this? Because you admitted to cheating.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not breaking any news here. You've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's realistic for women to get married to a successful man and to think that they're going to be the only woman that they ever deal with for decades and decades and decades, and that's just a realistic thought, and if a man steps out, it's over and it breaks every vow and everything else like that? Or do you have to kind of accept that, listen, men are going to be men, especially successful men with options, men who keep in shape and are attractive and stuff like that?
But that's not what broke up our marriage. I had been caught a couple times in our marriage. It didn't end because of that. I filed for divorce.
Was there a dramatic getting caught situation?
Yeah.
Like
There's
walked in and...
No, not like that.
Not like that.
It never came home. It was always on the road. I never brought it home.
Right, no, but still, you could, I mean, women will show up at your hotel room, like, you know.
No. I wasn't wilding like that, but I was very good at compartmentalizing things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this happened over here. My life is over here.
Right.
This was a moment. This isn't a relationship, and it was never even close to home. I made sure it was never anybody she knew, no emotional attachment, nowhere near where we live, nothing like that, right? So it was when I got caught, there's various reasons why I got caught. You know what I mean? So, MySpace. We go way back with this shit. Why this bitch on your top 8?
That was a big deal back in the day.
Dude, do I know?
But listen, I had a girl get back with me because she broke up with me and saw some other attractive girl in my top 8 and started to feel some type of way and then came back.
No, but to answer
top 8s were a big deal back in the day.
Well, to answer your question, I think it's age. I think I would tell anybody, I'd even tell my daughter this. I'd be like, never marry a man in entertainment or athlete. I don't care if it's a singer, comedian, rapper, actor, NHL, NBA, NFL, anything in their 20s. Do not. You have to let them get it out of their system because you got access, you got a little money now, you got a little presence, you got a little power. It's not difficult. And you're getting attention from women you've never gotten attention from before.
Yeah.
So I would say never in your 20s, bro. Just leave that alone. And that's when we met. We met in the height of things. We met I met her like I was 24. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I got women coming at me that I was like, I never thought she would have came at me, bro.
Yep.
It's not easy. It doesn't make it right. But it's just like, it's like you said, I was like, you know, I'm not trying to justify my actions, but I was just like, it was a lot coming at you.
I just feel like more women should be accepting of reality. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, yeah, he messes around every so often, but it's never in my face. It's never blatant. He doesn't take it home. He doesn't bring back
there's no embarrassment. You never heard me.
There's no public embarrassment. And, you know, he's a good provider. And this is the reality. We're all getting older. You know what I mean?
But it would hurt. I'm going to say if it was the other way around and I found out she cheated, that shit would have hurt.
That shit would hurt.
Yeah, and I don't know if she did or not. I can't say for 100%.
Yeah.
But I was like, that would have hurt.
How long do you have to pay alimony for? Because you guys were married a long time.
We settled. We went to mediation. So I said, look, it became very apparent that our lawyers were nitpicking, and it hit me, and I had to finally call her and be like, look, I see what's happening here with our lawyers. Yeah. They're changing a word to get another email that costs a couple $100.
And you're paying for her lawyer as well, right?
I ended up paying half her lawyer fees at the end of the day when it was settled. But it was like, they're just changing little shit to keep this going. I said, at some point, you have to trust me. I'm not trying to screw you over. Yeah. I go, but let's just settle. And I even gave her like extra once the divorce is final, we signed her. I told her I'd give her this set amount because she needed it. And I go, I'll send you this, but we got to end this or the lawyers are going to get it. So she goes, I remember she was like, I feel like you're getting over. I said, I wouldn't do that to you. Through all my infidelities, I never screwed her over with money. Never. Yeah. So I was like, and she finally worked it out. But I just realized our lawyers are just trying to keep this going as long as they can. So anyway, as long as she got 10 years of alimony.
Okay. I mean, look, I've always said this. The sign of a great compromise is where both parties are unhappy.
Facts.
Right?
And that's the truth. I think any divorce where there's a lot of money involved.
Yes.
I feel like I'm overpaying. Yeah. And she feels like she didn't get enough.
Exactly. Which is a mark that it's a good compromise. Yeah. When one person feels like, yes, I got this, the other person probably got screwed.
Yeah.
When both people are pissed off, it means it was a good compromise. The lawyers did their job.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Please clip that up.
I got you.
That's the truth. Because I honestly feel like I paid too much. Yeah. And I know she feels like she didn't get enough.
You talked about how you've always dated black women.
Yep.
And I had to think about my own dating history because I've pretty much only dated black women as well. All my long-term relationships with black women, I've had a few, a couple months with an Asian girl here and there, a white girl for a week or two, whatever. But you talked about how it was just in you. Like, a gay guy is gay because he's just gay. You can't choose or whatever else. With me, it wasn't exactly a choice. It was just my first serious situation with a woman. She just happened to be black and Japanese, right? So I didn't really date very much in high school. I got to college. I went to Berkeley. And, I messed around with some white girls or whatever else.
Berkeley?
Yeah.
That's a melting pot.
Exactly. We
could have got a white, Asian, and black in the same girl.
All the same girl. Well, she was black and Japanese.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Mixed. Yeah.
You could have got it all in one.
So for me, I wasn't necessarily only looking at black girls. I mean, I was into hip hop, so obviously I noticed them and I was attracted to them. But it just so happened the first girl that I clicked with, and it turned into like a 5-year relationship, she was black. Mm-hmm. So I became kind of used to that, and that became an attraction. And
how'd that end?
Was that?
How'd that end?
I broke up with her, unfortunately.
How'd that 5-year relationship end, Vlad?
Yeah, I broke up with her.
Was it violent?
No, it wasn't violent. No, it wasn't. No, she's great, man. She was great. I have nothing bad to say about her ever. But from that point on, that sort of set a tone and a standard for me. You see what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So I wouldn't necessarily say like in high school I was only looking at black girls, but once my dating career started, that became a thing, and that's the reason why I think my life turned out the way it did. But it seems like your story is a little bit different.
Yeah, because I grew up with white people.
Yeah. Well, I grew up with white people also. San Mateo.
I'm Oxford, Ohio.
Yeah, a little more white.
It's super white.
Yeah, we're a little more mixed in the Bay.
Yeah,
exactly.
super white.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I knew it. I knew when we would play a black school in sports and I'd see black girls like cheerleaders and stuff. I was like, yo, I knew when we go to the mall and that's when I would see black girls like, yo. So I always knew it, bro. Oh, my stepdad asked me if I was gay at one point growing up because I was never bringing girls around, never talking about girls. And I was just looking at him like, you're so off. I'm not looking at JJ on Good Times. I'm looking at Thelma.
You had a situation, I think, during the pandemic where you were coming out of the gym and this guy rolled up on you on a bike.
Yeah, that was wild.
Tell me about that.
So it was Antioch Mall in Antioch, California.
Know exactly where that is.
So that mall, there's a trainer there named Marcus Malou. And his gym is now expanded. It's taken over the whole mall. So during the pandemic, gyms weren't open, but Marcus would open up the gym so a few guys could come work out at a time. So I didn't realize Antioch was like that until that day. I heard it was a little rough, but I didn't know it was like that. So I walk out. The guy had a heavy coat on. It was like 90 degrees out. So I was like, that doesn't look right. And it was a tiny bike. It wasn't like a big bike. It was a tiny. It felt very Friday-ish almost, right? And the guy is just like doing circles in the parking lot. There's like 2 cars in the mall parking lot because everything's closed. And then he made eye contact with me, and I go, is he looking at me? It was one of the things like, this isn't about to happen. So I had a heavy water bottle that kind of put the ice and everything in. So I gripped it like this, thinking, I hope this isn't what I think it is. And my stomach's dropping, and I think two drips of pee came out, right? That's how nervous I was. And he starts circling, and now he's really looking at me. And he goes, yeah, something to this extent. He goes, yeah, I see you looking at me. I'm black, you white. You see I'm black. And I was like, what is going on right now? And then as I'm looking at him, he started circling around, and then I looked at him, and he literally went from this. He goes, yeah, you see I'm black? Okay, you that funny dude. I know who you is. And it just rolled off. And I went, the hell is that? But it was clear he was looking for a confrontation. He was looking for something to happen. Yeah. And thank God he recognized me. Because that face went from, okay, you that funny dude. I'll never forget, I know who you is. And I remember he just riding away on his bike.
This is what, during like the George Floyd riots and everything else like that?
Right in the heart of it. So COVID was March of 2020. So this is it was hot. So it had to be like May or June. It was May or June of 2020. This happened.
You were supposed to be on Jamel Hill's podcast.
Yeah.
And I've had Jamel on my show a couple times. Cool lady. Nothing bad to say about her. But I guess she canceled because you put a tweet up where you typed in N-word.
Yeah. Well, and she called me too.
Talk about actual, like literally N-word.
Quotations, W-O-R-D.
Yes.
Right? She called me on this. Uh-huh. Again, Donnell called me and she called me. Power social media and people that you could misread a situation. So what happened, I'm at the San Francisco Airport Marriott. I'm watching Oklahoma City play Portland. It was when Dame Lillard hit that shot in the playoffs to beat Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. As I'm sitting there, I'm with 2 of my buddies who are black, and there's another group of black guys over here. Literally, when he stood up, the one black dude stood up at the other table, he goes, that N-word hit that shit, right? And I literally looked at my buddy, I go, and then right when he said that, they showed a picture of Portland's coach. I think it was Stouts was the coach that year. And I said, the coach wants to say the same thing, but he's not allowed. And so my guy started busting out. So when they laughed, boom, I get on my phone. I literally typed verbatim. I was like, Portland's coach wants to say that N-word hit that shit, but he's not allowed, right? So something to that extent, I explained it, right? So, what do you call it? That tweet went out, and I was supposed to be on Jamel Hill's podcast shortly after, and it got back to me that Jamel just canceled on me. Mm. But when she finally called me, because I thought we've always been cool. Like, she's the one that really advocated for me to get on her shows on ESPN when she had those shows. And so I'd been on shows numerous times. So I was like, dang, I thought we were cooler than that. But then she called me and had to explain. She goes, Gary, I don't want you to think I'm vindictive. I don't like you. It was never that. I never unfollowed you on social media. She goes, it was just that, I guess when she was reading the comments and saw people coming at me a little bit, she goes, I didn't want that to be the focus of our interview, and I wanted that to die down, and I've just never called you to come back on. So that's a classic case of, I got in my feelings because I thought she was like, I was like, damn, that's what cut the relationship off with us? But then she got a hold of me and then we talked, and I go, oh, that makes sense. And she goes, so I'm going to get you on eventually, and everything was cool, but that is the reason why I didn't go on.
Were you ever on eventually?
This just happened like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
This all just happened like a month ago.
Got it.
But it was a good conversation. So that's just, everybody was right and everybody was wrong in that one.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't have tweeted that, me personally.
If you could go back, you're finding everything. If you could look at the tweet, I'm not giving you the verbatim.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not 100% right in everything I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna type the actual word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a message to all of the white people who are watching this right now. I don't care how many black friends you have that are okay with you saying the N-word around them. Just don't do it.
But I didn't say it.
No, I understand that, but I'm just saying in general.
No, it goes back to
because it's a very slippery slope, because you see white dudes out there that use the N-word and, people are okay with it. Like Fat Joe used the N-word and some people are okay with it, some people are not. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, Kendrick Lamar doesn't want Drake to use the N-word. Like, it's a very slippery slope. And look, I sometimes have to say N-word just because if I'm quoting somebody in an interview or I'm quoting a lyric, and I'm definitely not going to say it. I don't say it in my personal life or in my professional life, but it's a very loaded word.
But that's common sense.
Yeah.
It literally is common sense. You don't say that word. It's the risk reward. And it's like, how was I gonna word this? Anyways. Yeah, it's a risk reward. Don't say it.
Did your kid say it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mixed. I remember the first time I saw my son's phone when he was in 9th grade, and I saw him typing it out, and I felt some kind of way. I go, you're not getting your ass kicked for this? And I realized, he's completely allowed.
Yeah, man, it's the most loaded word in the English language.
I know what I was going to say. It's like, as a stand-up, you could have 5,000 people in the audience, and if you tell a joke as a white dude and you say the N-word, 4,999 could be laughing. If that one isn't laughing and then goes to social media and posts it, you're done.
Yeah.
I don't think you're canceled anymore. I think we're not that, but you're really backtracking and trying to make up for shit.
Well, you said that you had a white father with bad black father tendencies.
When did I say that?
It was an interview you did.
Streets Right. No, I said I had I said my stepdad, I think it got cut off or something. I think it was my stepdad. I said it came out wrong. It was every bad black father in the movie. He was just like him. And I was thinking whatever movie I was thinking of. It was a bad analogy. Thanks, Vlad. Just fucking me up here. Don't say it. You said that. I get it. Whatever it was in the context, it was a bad analogy on my part. And I had something in my brain, and I said it. And then when I said it, and then I saw it air, I went, yeah, that wasn't cool. That wasn't right. So I own that. But I had like somebody in my head when I said it just came out wrong because my stepdad's an asshole. And it was something about, I was thinking like Michael Ealy in, what was that, For Color Girls Only? When he was showing the kids out the door?
Yeah.
That was in my brain, but it came out wrong.
You said you had gotten jumped by a group of women.
In Detroit.
Yeah.
No. Dudes jumped me, but the women started it in Detroit. It was at Lyceum, a nightclub in Detroit.
Okay.
You don't know?
Well, it was on your podcast.
Yeah. What happened was I had a show. They had an after party for me. I go to the after party, and the VIP was upstairs. So I walked upstairs, And like, there's 3 or 4 girls, and they was like, Gary Owen, can we get a picture with you? And I was like, yeah. So I get a picture with him. Then I go to the bar. I got my buddy and his wife, and we're facing the bar this way. Everybody's behind me. I ordered 3 drinks. The drinks came to $125. I said, God damn. I said, how much are the drinks here? And the bartender said, those girls said you was buying their drinks. And I said, I ain't buying no bitches drinks in here tonight. So then when I said that, all I heard was this chaos behind me. You calling me a bitch? You calling me a bitch? And I'm like, no, I'm like bitches per se, like bitches. Like I never specified one particular bitch. And so that's the story I'm telling you.
Right.
In real time, I'm turning around, getting ready to explain myself, and I'm getting hit by these dudes who are, I don't know who they are, but they were hitting me over the girls. Like their arms are coming over the girls. And I was like, so I'm going like this. I ain't calling by a bitch. Bitches per se. So literally, I'm getting hit, right? And then I hit my buddy Reggie, and I go, keep in mind, it happened so fast, he never turned around. He never saw me get hit. And I was like this. I go, hey, man, let's go. This place is whack. So we leave. Now we're in his car, and his wife is running out, and she's laughing and damn near crying. And she goes, are you okay? And I go, yeah, I think so. I got to get in the mirror to make sure my face is all right. And then she was like, that was the funniest and scariest shit I've ever seen. She goes, because you were getting hit and still trying to explain yourself. Like, I ain't calling about a bitch. Come on, this place is whack. Let's get out of here. So I had to go. I'm in the rear view. And now I'm looking at the, what is it, the sun visor? The visor in the car? Yeah. So I'm looking at it. I'm checking my face. And I was like, I think I'm okay. I did have a knot on top of my head, but you can't see that. The next morning I get up. I lived in Cincinnati at the time, so I'm driving back home. I stopped at like McDonald's or something, got an orange juice, and that acid hit the inside of my lip, and they must have sliced it a little bit, because I was like, what the fuck is that? I go, motherfucking Detroit. I stopped listening to Eminem and Kid Rock for 2 years to protest that. So that
was a protest. Okay.
There's 4 girls, and at least I'm thinking 2 guys that still, to this day, are probably going, we beat the fuck out of Gary Owen that night. And you know what crazy? It happened literally like a month after. Remember when Katt, they came out, he had all the female bodyguards, and he got slapped after his show in Detroit one night.
Yeah.
It was a month after that. So I'm sitting there going, I ain't going to Detroit no more. I got slapped. I got punched. I got a problem with Detroit.
Detroit bad boys, you know.
Here's a funny shit.
On accident.
My shit never hit the press.
Yeah.
My shit never got out. Katt's was everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, it was a month apart.
Last question. O.J. Simpson passed away recently.
Right.
And you actually met him at one of your comedy shows.
He came to Coconut Grove, Miami Improv.
Yeah.
He came and they said, it was weird. They literally go, the manager came up, I'm in the dressing room, and she goes, yo, O.J. Simpson is here. I go, shut up. She said, yeah. And I was like, so I put my head out and there he is. I go, no way. So the host goes out and was like, yo, are we allowed to announce you're here on stage? And he goes, yeah, but give me heads up. And so the host is telling me, she goes, we're going to announce them at this point in the show. And I was like, all right, I don't know why he told me that. But I guess there was a joke or a word that he was going to say to let OJ know he's about to shout him out. And I thought that was weird, that they literally had this whole choreographed time to tell him when he's going to announce OJ. And so he says it. When OJ came with a black dude and 2 white girls to my show, when they announced him, he was sitting between 2 black girls. Because he was like this, and he like waved. He was like, I was like, oh, this guy's good. This guy's good. I know I saw it. And then as I'm on stage, so then OJ waves, crowd, and the crowd went nuts. They went nuts, right? Not like boo. They went nuts. As I'm on stage, I literally saw him get up and move over back to the white girls and his boy. So then, now the show's over, and anybody knows the old Improv in Coconut Grove, they had a bar in the lobby. I'm sitting at the bar having a drink. OJ sits down right next to me. One of the most charming individuals I've ever met in my life. You forgot about the crimes he was accused of. I mean, he's talking to me like, where you from? I was like, Cincinnati. He goes, oh, man, we played Cincinnati in 1978. It was so cold. They say Buffalo's cold. That was the coldest game I ever played in. He's giving me the yards, who the players was, where he went to eat. Really? And then started inquiring about my life. Like, how'd you get started and stuff? Like, I'm sitting here so engaged. I'm like, I forget who I'm talking to. And then I really started looking at him, and he has a very big head.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Or had a very big head.
Marcellus Wiley said the exact same thing.
Dude,
his head
I was like,
huge.
That head is... The two biggest heads I've ever seen in my life in person was Yao Ming and O.J. Simpson. I'll say that.
What about Shaq's head?
No, Shaq's for his body and stuff. I mean, I'm talking about abnormally. Like,
abnormally sized compared to the body. Okay, yeah.
Like, you're not fitting this hat. Like, you gotta get an like seatbelt extension on an airplane. You gotta get a hat extension. That type of head.
I mean, do you think he did it?
I don't know. Either he did it. The rumor was his son might have did it.
Yeah, I mean, I interviewed.
That's the only two.
I interviewed Kato Caitlin, who was actually at the guest house when all this was happening.
Yeah.
And Kato said he definitely did it.
Oh, I mean, there's only two people. They've never even come close to finding somebody else. So I started looking in and watching all these documentaries on it and stuff. I'm like, it was either him, and then the rumor was it was his son. That was it.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to do an interview with him last year.
OJ?
And we were going to pay him $100,000 to do the interview.
No way. You didn't pay me that, Vlad.
No, I did not. Sorry, but you're not OJ.
Get ready.
No offense. No offense.
I need a husband that's angry.
It was going to be $100,000, and it was going to happen. But as you know now, OJ had a bunch of cash businesses on the side, so he wouldn't have to pay back, the Goldman and Brown family.
Yeah.
So the guy I was talking to, we made the agreement. He said he wants it in cash. I said, okay. I checked with my CFO. Cool. We could do it as long as they fill out a release, an invoice, a W-9, whatever. But then the guy said he wanted it up front before he walked in the room. And
would you give it to him when he walked in the room? Like, as he walked in the room?
Before he walked in the room, they wanted the full amount.
So why didn't you do it?
What if he walked out after 10 minutes?
Oh.
And he's like, well, as long as you don't get too deep into the, the murder questions, he might walk out. And I'm like, so you want $100,000 to someone who owes $30 million, who's not paying.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to I'll give him half up front, half at the end. No. And they just kind of went back and forth until I finally said, forget it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah,
it would have been a hell of an interview.
That was a bad business move on his part.
On his part.
Especially you offered half.
I offered half. At one point, I even offered him 75%. I said, I'll give you 75 up front, 25 when we finish.
Vlad, I've learned about this during this interview that you have a bad habit of trying to negotiate with people that shouldn't be negotiating with.
Right.
75 to OJ. Apology letter to Monique's husband. And then it always backfires on you.
It always backfires.
Stop apologizing, bro.
People can't do regular business. Well, you know what it is? I've found this in life. And I'm going to leave it with this. And I've done business with thousands of people. The people that are always the most problematic are scammers themselves. They've scammed so many people that when it's time to do business with them, they create so many situations to avoid them getting scammed that it becomes unreasonable to work with them.
Yeah, get ready. Get ready. Because this is never going to see the light of day.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I signed the release form with a different name.
Gary Owen isn't my real name.
I put an S on the end. Even though that's my real name, it doesn't matter.
I'm Eric Bishop. It ain't Jamie Foxx.
That's what it is. Gary Owen, man, always a pleasure. Let's not let another 8 years pass by until we do another interview, man.
Yeah, 7.
Yes, 7 years from now.
I'll see you in 2031, bro.
2031. Get ready.
That's when alimony ends.
That's what it is. Peace.